So what are you doing right at this time? Setting the framing for the...
Yeah, I'm warming up so we can put a little walkway in front.
Okay.
That way the wall gets blocked in so don't move.
What do you got to pay this guy by the time or?
Yeah, it's time and material.
Oh shit. Now see, they all left, but we wanted to come up and do an African ritual. At the grave site, we found the Prince Hall Masons were here, Professor Hoagland, and Eddie Johnson, and of course we were welcome, but this is important because I'm going to do a little prayer here at the site for 2012 and 2013. Yeah, it's recording. Just don't know when we're going to get together. This is a little pet thing here. Now I want to take us for a little tour. See how to take care of the property. This is most of the land that you will see. But over in this direction is where the houses were. Now this is supposedly thousands of acres, or at least 1,060 acres, I believe. And this is all they got from the National Registry. And this was put here a few months ago. A bench. And this fence has been here. And basically a little walkway to the highway. And there's a sign across the street that says Plymouth 1620, America's hometown. Now this is stuff you don't see, but every time I come I find garbage, people dump their waste. We need to put steps here so people don't fall. I see we got a little visitor there. Yeah. So I guess they're doing sex over here too. We need to have some lighting or some kind of respect for the cemetery, because you can see it goes back goes back there. I've got a lot of documentation of them dumping, but here's something that really caught my attention. There's a carcass of a deer. Now, I don't know what to tell you. They took the antlers, half the meat. This is the hunting season, I guess. No respect for the property. No respect for the dead, patriots, founding fathers.
After stepping down as mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani tried to launch himself as a national political leader on the back of the single defining event of his career.
September 11th, September 11th. Terrorists or terrorism, September 11th. The flames of hell emanating from those buildings. September 11, fallen towers of the World Trade Center. Terrorists, September 11, 2001.
In the end, he failed miserably, with voters immediately seeing his ploy for what it was: base political pandering.
9/11 was bad.
I agree with that.
I can't believe how easy this is.
But what many do not realize is that Giuliani's case is not just that of another ghoulish politician parading on the corpses of those who died on his watch for his own political gain. On the day of 9/11, while the remains of the Twin Towers and World Trade Center 7 were still smoldering, one of Mayor Giuliani's first concerns was clearing away the evidence from the crime scene.
We were able to move 120 dump trucks out of the city last night, which should give you a sense of the work that was done overnight.
It's wild out here. They just keep coming. Look. It doesn't stop. There's more. I keep thinking it's at the end, and it's not.
Despite reassurances that the rapid removal of the evidence from Ground Zero was important for emergency access, this process went far beyond merely clearing a path for rescue workers. As Eric Lawyer, founder of Firefighters for 9/11 Truth, points out, the massive operation to haul away over 1.5 million tons of debris and to sell much of the steel to Chinese firm Baosteel at discount prices was not just an overzealous approach to clearing the area, but was itself a crime.
9/11 was the greatest loss of life and property damage in U.S. fire history. This should have been the most protected, preserved, over-tested, and thorough investigation of a crime scene in world history. Sadly, it was not. What was it? Well, we know from their own admission, the majority of the evidence was destroyed. Like Richard said, 22 years of experience, I've seen a lot of crime scenes. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I was out of the site. I saw trucks leaving faster than anywhere I've ever seen, but I accepted it at the time, and for years I accepted it because it was a recovery and rescue operation, and that's normal to have something like that going. Again, we've never seen anything like it, but that was expected. What I didn't know for years, what was going on behind the scenes, was that evidence was being destroyed when it was shipped off. By their own admission, Tower 7 investigation, this investigation at Tower 7 had no physical evidence. How do you investigate a crime when you've destroyed all the evidence? It doesn't make sense. They also admit that they refused to test the explosives, or to test for explosives, or residue of thermite. Now, this is what I'm going to go into here just real quickly, is there are national standards for an investigation. That's what all of us are asking for, an investigation that follows national standards and holds people accountable.
Needless to say, an investigation of the 9/11 crime scene following the national investigation standards has never been conducted, and never will be, as Giuliani oversaw the illegal destruction of the evidence itself. To add insult to this injury, in 2003, New York City medical examiner Charles Hirsch revealed that in the mad scramble to get rid of the crime scene evidence, human remains from the World Trade Center had been left at the Fresh Kills landfill, where the debris was sorted and the steel was sold. In 2007, Eric Beck, a senior supervisor of the recycling facility that sifted the debris, admitted that some of those human remains ended up in a mixture that was used to pave roads and fill potholes in New York City.
Hill there. Okay. Now we know that they didn't land on this rock. You follow? And over there, they got the artificial copy of the Mayflower. We'll go take a walk over. Huh?
No, thank you very much, and this is needed for me. You guys are awesome.
They Pilgrim Memorial State Park. Yeah. Huh?
Erected by the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution in memory of the heroic women of the Mayflower, 1920.
1620, 1920.
Reject every single thing that they are doing. And all of the other things that they're doing, and they're doing it mindlessly, and we must forgive them and have compassion for them, but we shouldn't fall into what they're doing, into their games. And so Nostradamus said that at the end of time there's this great bifurcation. The human race was going to split, he said. And a very small percentage are going to actually achieve a modicum of enlightenment, and the rest are going to fall into almost a wasteland of horror. And we must try to salvage as much of it as we can, but be careful. We don't want to salvage the system that caused all this. So we want to be careful about what we're asking for. You're not going to have all the material things that you have now. It's just not going to happen. Very few people have it, but the rest of us are not going to have it. And you know what? That's good. Because if we keep going on, there's not going to be any forest left. There's not going to be topsoil left. There's not going to be any fish left. It's going to be all gone. Thanks. Nuclear sunset. Number 4. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that we need to Aikido the moment. We need to take the strength of our enemies and use that against them. We're not as strong as they are, but we can use their media, their internet, all the things that they've given us, and thank God we have these things, and it's truly a miracle. Technology is an incredible thing. And we need to use it to, I hate to use the term subvert the dominant paradigm, but why not? And we need to undo what has been done. We need to go back to a more rural lifestyle. I know a lot of you aren't going to like that, but it's going to be necessary. And we're going to create a world that is going to be a lot better. I mean it. We're going to be a lot happier. It doesn't seem like it now. So the next 4 years are going to be really not very good. But at the end of the 4 years, it'll be fine. One of my old friends, Terence McKenna, used to say, we must live as if the apocalypse has already occurred. And what he's saying is that we must live as if it's already after the end of this age. All of us. We must start now doing it. And if we do that, then we can create this future. It'll already be there by the time we need it. And so that's what really these 2012 conferences are about. Hey, thanks so much. How can we create this future? And what future is it that we want to create? And I'm not going to dictate it to you. I can't. I don't know. I just know a few simple basic things. We definitely want to have enough food to eat. We definitely want to love each other. We definitely want to have a community. We don't want to freeze to death. There's a few things, and that's all we need. So if we make our collective secret, our collective view of the world of the future, we have to keep it really simple. We can't make it complicated. We can't say we want a socialist paradigm where the workers take control of the factories, or we want a world where everybody sits in meditation all day. These aren't going to happen. But what we can do is I want a world of community, of love, of nonviolence, and then I think we can create a world that will work. But we're not going to create a world that can work if we go on like we are. Okay, now I'm going to run you through here because I want to show you the secret of the end of time.
Week's episode of Lost Origins. I'm your host, Andrew, and if you're just joining us, today we are talking with researcher and expert William F. Mann. William is a recognized authority on all things Knights Templar, and before the break, we were talking about Henry Sinclair. We were talking about who he was and his role in the Chronicle of the Templars. And so, before the break, I had mentioned, William, that Henry Sinclair is known for bringing the Grail, among other things, obviously, but known for bringing the Grail to the Americas in 1398. And I mentioned that because of books like The Da Vinci Code or Holy Blood, Holy Grail, the Grail has been described in many forms. But in your book, Templar Meridians, you describe the Grail as an ancient science developed before the Great Flood.
What's up with all the Illuminati symbolism, man? What's up with the all-seeing eye, man, in your logo? You're one of them, man.
You know,